Welcome to online classes. Good morning to everybody. Hope all of you are well. Today I will explain the new story, Unit 3, The Prince from Tibet, English Literature Reader. Now I will start from the book. Many centuries ago, the Emperor of China had a beautiful daughter. He wanted her to marry a prince, but there was 7 princes who wanted her hand in marriage. He asked them all to come to his palace so that he and the empress could decide which one of them would marry their daughter. Unfortunately for the emperor, his daughter, who should have been in her room, was out walking in her garden when the prince of Tibet arrived. She immediately hid behind a bush, but not before noticing how attractive the young prince was. The next day, when all the 7 princes appeared in front of the emperor and the empress, their daughter only had eyes for the young prince from Tibet. Of course, they could not see her as she was behind a screen, but she could see them and also hear what they were saying. How handsome he is, she whispered to her mind. How well he speaks. That evening, when they were sitting together, the empress asked her daughter what she thought of the 7 men. They are all very respectable, replied her daughter, but the one I prefer is the prince from Tibet. But that is impossible, yelled her father. He loved his daughter dearly and did not wish to see her go all the way to the mountains of Tibet, hundreds and hundreds of miles from his palace. He wished to visit her often in her new home, but nothing he could say would convince her to change her mind. Very well, he said to his wife when they were alone, I shall devise some test, and we can only hope that the prince from Tibet hails them. Then we shall have a reason not to let our dear daughter marry him. The next morning, 100 mares with their baby foals were driven into the center of the city. The mares were tied up around the outside of the main square, and the foals were herded into the center. Here is a test, said the emperor. The prince who came march each mare with its foals will be a great change of getting my daughter's hand. Each prince tried, but the result was always the same, barking and neighing and beating a terrible commotion. Then came the turn of the prince from Tibet. He asked for some good food to be given to each of the mares. Immediately the mares began to eat. When they had finished, they each gave a soft knee, and that was the sound for their foals to get some milk. Immediately, each foal ran towards his mother, and within 5 minutes, each mare had been reunited with her foal. The emperor thought quickly. Very good, he said. Here is another taste of a different sort. Look at this piece of jade. It is very beautiful and it has a hole running all the way through it. If you can put a thread all the way through this piece of jade, you will be considered seriously to become my son-in-law. Again, each of the princes tried, and again each one failed. They bent wires and they tried to push threads through, but no one managed. The prince from Tibet had been watching all this time and thinking. He caught an ant and tied a thin silk thread to its leg. Then he took some honey and smeared it at the exit hole on the other side of the jade. As soon as the ant sensed the honey at the other end, inside it went and come out at the honey-covered end, trailing the thread behind. The prince tied the two ends of threads together and handed it to the emperor with a smile and bow. This time even the emperor was pleasantly surprised. This young man is very smart, he thought to himself. It is a pity he lives so far away. He would be a fine husband for my daughter. A final test, he announced. The man who succeeded in this test will gain the hand of my daughter. The emperor and empress had come up with a very tricky test indeed. They had arranged for 299 young ladies to dress up in exactly the same clothes as their daughter. All 300 stood in lines in the great garden of the emperor's palace. The young princes came one after another. Each one thought that the emperor's daughter would be the most beautiful one. This one? No. Is this your daughter? No. And so on and so on. Meanwhile, the young prince from Tibet had come up with an idea. He went around to all the palace workers, asking them questions about the princess. When he asked an old woman, she had said, well, she is very like all the other girls. She is not the most beautiful, although she is very attractive. Her hair is like most girls, long and black. The only difference is that the oil she put on her head from when she was a young girl. She had been using almond oil on her hair. The emperor sends merchants on camel to get the oil. It takes nearly 4 months for them to get the oil and bring it back here. She is the only one who wore such oil. When it came to turn to find the princess, he waited until midday. The sun shone down and it was very hot. Very carefully, he looked at the head of each girl. Suddenly, he saw what he was looking for. One girl had a small honey bee flying around her hair. He walked straight up to her and without hesitation said, "Sirs, this is your daughter. Am I sure?" "I am sure." And it was. The young princess was delighted because her father immediately agreed to the marriage, and when the prince from Tibet explained how he had known who his daughter was, the emperor was even more impressed by the young man's intelligence. When he spoke with the princess from Tibet said, I know your father loves you and he will want to give you the lots of diamonds and jewels. Please tell him not to do this. We have these things in Tibet. Instead, ask him to give you the seeds of all the grains like wheat and corn and millet, and of course, and much almond oil for your beautiful hair as he can afford. When he heard this, the emperor was more certain that the right prince had married his daughter, and although he had traveled many hundreds of miles to visit his daughter, after that he never felt sad or angry because he knew that she had married a good man who would love her and took after her all the days of her life. It is the story. Actually, it is a Tibetan tale. Finished. Now I will go for substance or summary for the story.